I had a question. Wookie is 15, so he's a senior. He's a senior boy, and just it seems to have coincided with daylight savings time that he has started to have a little bit of separation anxiety when I go to work. Just like simple things. It's not like when I'm gone for a long time, but anytime I get my keys or I'm getting ready to leave, he knows my routine, and he comes to the door, and sometimes even when I come home, he will be meowing at the door even though it's not time for food, because he gets fed like in the morning and at night. And I have talked to my vet about it, and everything else seems normal. He's using the litter box, he's eating normally, we play every day.
Good.
He's affectionate, he does his own thing, and I've done things like I have a bird feeder. I have things for him to like do when I'm not here.
Beautiful.
But I was wondering if you had any other tips.
Because cats define their lives by the sun itself. I mean, cats are like sundials, right? At certain parts of the day, they're going to be in certain places as the sun changes position. Remember, the raw cat, that cat that wakes up and says, I have to hunt, they are going to be active at dawn and dusk. Doesn't matter like when the sun goes up and goes down, they'll be out there, But here's the crazy part. Because your circadian rhythm changes with daylight savings time, now we've got a cat who's completely freaking confused because the sun's saying one thing and you're saying something else altogether, right? So you guys were in concert just a few weeks ago, and now suddenly everything's out. When routine changes for a cat, they're not going to take it well. So you're going to see that sort of mismatch, and what your job is to keep that routine completely intact. If you acquiesce to him going, I need you to do something right now, and you're like, okay, fine, here you go, then you're keeping them off balance, right? Unfortunately, it's like jet lag, right? If you're in Paris yesterday and you're in Madison today, you're going to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning wanting lunch, and you've got to convince yourself it ain't lunchtime, it's the middle of the night, keep sleeping. It's the same thing you're going to tell your cat. It's not time to eat right now. It'll be time when the sun starts going down. And that's how we set our clocks together. The other thing, in terms of separation anxiety, like a quick little tip, we all tend to sort of do this a little bit. So the cat starts to exhibit separation anxiety. What do? You start doing this thing before you leave the house, right? Where you're like, honey, it's not a big deal. A little while, and it's not a big deal.
So true.
All the cat hears is, what the hell's going on? What? It's a big deal. It's a big deal, right? That's all they hear. Blank, 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 big deal. Mm-hmm. And you're treating them differently, which feeds into the fear itself. Mm-hmm. A couple of things you can do. Switch up your routine just a little bit in the morning. Your cat, if he has separation anxiety, knows what it means when you pick up your keys off the table, right? He knows what that means. He knows you're leaving, right? So you pick up your keys 5 minutes after you wake up and put them in your pocket. Then you hang out for an hour. Do you know what I mean? You feed him right before you leave, and the next day, right when you wake up. You make sure that you're keeping that schedule just a little bit off, so then when you go to leave, you can just leave and not make a big deal out of it. So one thing is, switch up schedule. Second thing is, don't make a big deal when you leave the house. Third thing is, give him a little something to do while you're leaving. So I know you were saying you have cat TV, you have birdhouses and stuff like that. Your best friend could be a puzzle toy. Those little balls, right? Puzzle balls. Put a couple of treats in there. The only time he gets those kind of jackpot-y type treats is when it's in that puzzle ball. And then and again, you're switching this up 5 minutes before you leave, right when you leave, 10 minutes before, and you put out the ball. He's playing with it, he's getting treats, and he's enjoying himself, and you're out the door. Don't say bye. I know that sounds weird. Don't say bye.
No,
Don't think maybe I'll be back soon. None of that. Just walk out.
You're a bad cat. I'm not a bad cat. You're a bad cat. I'm not a bad cat. You're a bad cat. I'm just misunderstood. Meow.